Okay. I think the solution to all this big oil to ward off big oil is to widely get into the wind energy and solar energy. That's how we will beat big oil. And I know change is hard, but that is one thing that we will need to do is to change our thought. Even though it may look like we have to go back to the old ways, which I know was the best way. We have to do that to a point, and well, that's just in all the tribes. Like with my tribe, I have no idea what their stance is. I have no idea what the stance is for our tribe.
Right.
But I have not seen nothing, no wind energy or solar energy yet.
Right.
And so it's going to have to, as a whole, our tribe, our leadership, either they need to, step down and let the young ones step up and start leading the way.
Right.
Or our old folks, they need to really realize with this new technology that we have these days that our young ones can do. That's what it comes down to. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's the intention of why I'm teaching science in the school with the 7-year-olds,
Yeah.
the 8-year-olds, the 9-year-olds, the 10-year-olds. The thing is, there's a guy out there in Pine Ridge named Henry Red Cloud. He has a company called Lakota Solar Enterprises.
Oh, okay.
I went out there in April and May, and I saw him doing solar. Here's the thing, though, about that operation.
Solar?
Yeah, with Henry's operation.
Oh, okay.
They're not really reaching the youth at all. There's no effort to engage Lakota youth. We're minimal effort, zero. His own children don't help, His own family doesn't help him.
Wow.
He just goes out single-handedly and installs solar heaters on the res, which is cool.
Yeah.
Definitely cool. But there's no real educational or pedagogical or storytelling or anything that's going to create that shift in consciousness. Because it's not going to be you put in, money. Money's not going to solve it.
No, it's not.
Technology is going to, you could drop 1,000 solar panels on this camp and nothing would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Nothing.
Zero.
See, but that's the other thing my mom taught us.
People would just use more energy.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd blow out their batteries faster on solar.
Yeah.
Because the shift hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Or the shift is happening maybe slowly. But, it's like there's I actually think the number one thing is the shift in linguistic consciousness. So if we actually look back at the language and look at our relationship with time, our relationship with space, our relationship with matter, and our relationship with Earth and the universe, the sun, and we go back and really look at those words and the phrases and what they actually meant at that time, and maybe what they mean today to certain cultures that actually haven't seen the European at all. There's a tribe, I remember they were saying when the tsunami hit, I don't know if you remember the big old earthquake in Indonesia, Malaysia or whatever. Basically there was this tsunami that comes in, and there was some particular tribe that was really remote in an island somewhere. They had never seen anybody or something like this. This is how the story goes, at least. And their consciousness of time was such that it was embedded in their language, in the mind. There's no past or future. There's only present. Words that get you to think about the future, somehow there's a difference. I was reading another book called something about metaphysics, whatever, but Vindeloria Jr.'s book. Quantum Mechanics. Hopi and Zuni language gives a better understanding for the individual consciousness, person, man or woman, child, of quantum mechanical space-time. Why do I say that? If you understand that, if a person understands that they're a particle or a wave that's collapsing into a particle, a body, set of particles, but that it's waves that are completely connected. Everything in the universe connects everything else or influences everything else. A lot of hippies love this idea of quantum consciousness. These sort of like, if I meditate, then the entire universe will feel me. Yes, of course. Does that mean the entire universe is going to shift one way or the other? Is Earth going to shift one way or the other? I was in Rapid City 3 weeks ago. Someone said, if 1% of people, there's a book called The Emissaries of Light, specifically talking about, resolution of the civil war in Yugoslavia. If 1% of people sit in a community and meditate on peace collectively and together and in harmony and just the right way, no more war. And it may be no more war that way in that part of the world. And that's what I think her name is Cheryl. She was saying about the Keystone XL fight you were referring to back in that other video a couple moments ago. Like the Spirit Camp in Rosebud that shut down the Keystone XL. Okay, she figured out, and y'all figured out that part. Set up a Spirit Camp, number one. You don't have to redo that. Right? You invented that. You invented the Spirit Camp pipeline, spiritual. Our pipes are stronger than your pipes.
Exactly.
Our tobacco pipes are stronger than your oil pipes.
Like I have the insurance. Like go get a new phone. And I'm like,
What does that mean? I'm curious. Our pipes are stronger than your pipes. What do you feel? Like, what does that mean? Our prayers are stronger than your prayers, or maybe what does that mean? She said that, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, because you got to understand where the chanupa comes from to begin with.
And I need to hear it. This is your.
Okay, well, I don't. Okay, you got to understand where our chanupa comes from in our history and our culture. And when that comment is made, our pipe is stronger than your pipe. That comes with our religion and our spirituality and our culture of who we are, and our language. Because just a pipe, the English word just means that, a pipe. Whereas a chanupa, it goes thousands, millions of years back where that word comes from. And that, these days they call it a peace pipe. But what I learned is that it's a prayer pipe. I don't know where the peace pipe came from. I don't know, maybe romanticized by in 1800s or something. But anyway, so when
It's a prayer pipe.
It's a prayer.
Chanupa.
Chanupa
Is that
is a
Lakota?
prayer pipe. Lakota.
Lakota,
Yeah.
okay.
And so when we say our pipe, that's what we mean by that. We first of all, you have to, or I have to, an individual has to know where they come from. Your identity is the first step in realizing what place you have in this world. Your identity, So many people are lost out there, I use the younger generation as an example. When they're sitting and listening to this rap, hip-hop stuff, baggy pants,
Yeah.
they're lost. They really don't know. They don't really know where they come from. They don't stand proud as a Lakota person. And so finding that identity, being proud of who you are, and our language. Speaking our Lakota language is one of the most powerful, it's not a weapon, it's just one of the most powerful part of us is our beautiful language. Because our language is really hard to translate into English. I really have a trouble with that because I just cannot find one English word to say what a Lakota word is. It's just like I have to tell a whole story behind it, just to try to find a word in English for one Lakota word, And in ceremony, our spirits listen to our language, and it is more powerful. They listen to our Lakota language in ceremony. And it's okay, people can pray however they want. They can pray English in ceremony, that's good, and they'll still hear. But the most powerful is speaking in our language. And so that is where, within ourselves, that is where we find that identity. We find that peace within, which is Owáyawa.
No, that's why we're here.
And that spirituality stays
Cheerios?
strong with how our ancestors
Not if I eat 'em.
probably prayed for us to be. You know, I really love Faith Spotted Eagle. She gave us she spoke one day and she told us, she said, prayers are answered. No matter what, prayers get answered. It could be in 1 hour, it could be 1 day, it could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year. It could be 100 years, it could be 200 years. Our ancestors, they prayed maybe 200 years ago for us to protect our future generations. That is why they're answered, and that's why we are here at this moment, because our ancestors prayed for us to do this right now. And that makes me so proud. And as I sit here today, I pray for my great-great-great-great-granddaughter that I will probably never see. But she will see my prayer, and she will fight too.
Can I come to here somewhere? Okay, here we go.